Hi guys, my name is Cameo Anderson, and I'm an artist and a storyteller. They say a picture is worth 1,000 words, so why don't you come on in, sit down, and let me paint you a story. So this is my first episode of my little art show. It was on my bucket list of things to do since I was little and watching Robert Ross. So I decided to give it a go because, well, as the kids say, you only live once. Anyway, this picture that I'm working on is of Alaska, who is my niece, and the cat in the picture is one of my personal cats named Chris. And Chris played too hard with our pet raccoon when he was a little kitten, so he's kind of cute in the way that he can't jump, like he misses jumps when he tries to jump from one thing to another, and he can't fall from up on top of things like a normal cat and land on his feet. He lands on his back, so we have to be careful with this kitty. But he's one of my favorites. He also could have been named Cowboy because he walks with a swagger, and his legs are like a little bit far apart when he's walking. He's really charming and stubborn and kind of bullheaded, but mostly charming. So I took this picture accidentally. Well, I didn't take the picture accidentally, of course. I snapped a photo of my niece playing with this cat, and it was the most adorable pose. And the photo, though, it had my messy living room in the background because I wasn't planning on posting it to social media or anything, but it turned out so cute that I decided to paint it. In spite of the photo having bad lighting, I'll just have to rely on what I know my niece looks like. And this painting took place over a period of about an hour and a half. I've scaled it up here to about 10-ish, 15 minutes for you guys, since I know people don't have all day to watch me paint in real time. So a little bit about me, if you haven't been following my work, I mostly paint rescue pets, and I focus a lot on Siberian Huskies and Alaskan Malamutes. You wouldn't think with as beautiful as they are, they would end up in shelters as often as they do. But there are a lot of them losing their lives on the daily. So I focus a lot on helping animal rescues with my art. But this show is for me personally to share my work with you. I'm going to see what people like and don't like about this episode before I go on to the next one. I'm thinking about telling some stories, but also talking about how I do the art. And I'll give you a little rundown of that right now. I draw a sketch, which you saw at the beginning, and then I do flat colors first. It's also called local colors, where you take into account any lighting or shadows or weird effects or anything else. You just paint the color that something is, like the cat is orange and white, right? But then after you do the local colors, then you start thinking about shading, which is what I'm working on here. And you don't just shade with a darker version of the color you already have on your brush. You want to, this is kind of an advanced topic, but I'll give you an idea. Like, if you're painting a yellow object, you could either use oranges to shade it, or you could use browns to shade it. There are no hard and fast rules, but those are common choices by artists. When you're painting something white, it's really best never to use pure white or pure black in your painting. And you'll see that I tried it on the eyes in this in a little while, and it did not work. It flattens the picture out and makes it look weird. So it's better if you stay away from all black and all white. What else can I share about this? So after I paint local colors, which would be the stripes and markings, then I would go and think about shading and where my light source is coming from, which in this picture is from the top. And so things on the bottom will be shadowed underneath of the cat, underneath her arms, inside her little shirt there, the underside of her hair, underneath her nose. You have to think about where the light is coming from when you're doing art. That's important because it can cause weird errors if you don't. And maybe people looking at your art won't know what is wrong with it, but having not planned out your light source can just really make your painting look weird. So that would be one piece of advice I have. So right now, I'm still working on the shading because art takes time. Oh no, you can't see what I'm doing up there. There we go. Now you can see the whole picture so far. It's coming along nicely. I'm shading under her hair like I told you guys. Alaska, I watched her a lot when she was little, so I would hold her hand and we would draw hearts and smiley faces together. I'll never know if it was because of our art time together, because she just sees me draw so much, or if she has natural skill, but Alaska is quite the artist. And she does a lot of art, one after another, after another, after another, which is me. I tend to work fast. So if I did do a bad job on a picture, like, okay, on to the next one. Some artists will focus too much on a bad drawing and let it affect them for a while, and they feel like they just aren't as good of an artist as they thought they were. I don't get affected by that stuff. I just move on. Okay, so that picture wasn't the best. Well, I'll try harder on the next one. We'll see. And this doesn't really count client commissions, because obviously if I did a bad job on one of those, they wouldn't hire me again. I will have to work on that until it is good, which 9 out of 10 of them are. Actually, probably more like 98 out of 100 are. Every once in a while I'll get one that I don't like, but the client loves. And every once in a while, I will figure out, oh, I love this picture. It's like a great masterpiece and one of my favorite pet portraits. And the client will get it and go, well, it's nice, but it doesn't look exactly like my dog. Can you fix, like, the eyes or make the ear a little bigger, you know, they'll have a critique on something I thought was awesome. So when you're doing commissioned artwork, it's a little bit more about what the client wants, and that's okay. This one is not a commissioned work. It's just for me. I'll gift it to my sister, but she already has a lot of paintings of her kids because they're my family, obviously, and I think they're adorable, and I know I'm biased. Once, though, my sister said that she didn't feel like she had any talents, and I told her that was baloney, because I'll tell you what, all of her kids are works of art. One thing she does is make beautiful kids. I can't share too much about them on here because I don't really have her permission to talk about them, but just know that I love them. They're awesome. And this is my pretty niece, which I do have permission to share with you all. Her name is Alaska. She also loves to sing, and I put her on a hoverboard, which requires a lot of balance and it lights up and glows, but she mastered it in less than 20 minutes and was doing spins while drinking a drink with a straw and listening to music. She picks up on stuff pretty fast, so I have a lot of hope for her to have a really good and cool and awesome future. And it's not why I painted her, but, you know, I'd paint her if she just liked to sit on the floor and play with toys all day, but the fact that she might be exceptional just makes me a little bit happier. She never stops talking. Her hair is absolutely bonkers and I love it. And I don't really know how to paint it. Like, I'm still working on that skill. All of my nephews have this curly hair too. So this is the only thing that I think holds this picture back in a big way, is my inability to paint hair. So that's something I need to practice on. But you can see here what I'm doing, individually adding curls, because you cannot fake that. You do have to add individual curls. It's the same when you're painting a curly dog. There are no tricks or cheats that I know of for painting curls. You basically just have to draw each one. So here I am giving the hair texture and character by adding these little spirals and curly dingies and whatnots and dingle hoppers. And I'm really sorry about the cars in the background, guys. I don't have a studio yet to do this stuff in. So I live on a busy corner in the city, but I wish I lived in the country where it was quiet. So you can see the face is coming along nicely. Chris is looking like the cute little cat muffin that he is. I'm doing some touch-ups now. I see that I'm at that phase of the art. I've done some highlights and some shading. The kitty's eye is being detailed. And since I don't have any creative direction for this, I kind of did what I wanted. So I did add a simple background to this. I was on the fence about whether or not I was going to do that. You're going to see it coming up shortly. Boy, I wish all the cars weren't being so noisy. But you're going to learn a lot about... I don't know. This is a very casual show. I don't know if it would be as fun if I made it formal. We'll see. I also obviously need to do better at cutting out my glitches where I switch programs, but it's okay. This is my first one. You guys can give me your opinions. What do you think? What do you not like? Do you like the casual nature of this, or would you rather I cut stuff out that wasn't, you know, as relevant? And how about the length of the video? And did you learn anything? If you learned something about being an artist, I'd love to hear about that too. So, here you can see the full picture and how it's coming along, and I'm working on the background. I think I wanted the light to be more obvious, so I've shaded some darker greens down in the bottom right, and then the sunlight is up above, and I used an angle. It's a pretty extreme angle on the grass to add some dynamicness, because I went to animation school, so it adds some dynamic feeling and liveliness to this piece of art. So there's the cat's whiskers. Oh, this will be interesting to you. I decided I didn't like these whiskers popping out here in front of her face, and I realized they probably didn't in the original picture. So you can see the original picture there. And I ended up erasing these. Yep, you'll see it right there. I decided, nope, that didn't work. It didn't work artistically, and it looked silly. So no matter how cool you think you are going to be fixing mistakes as an artist, and don't let them get you down. One of my favorite things to tell people is that you have 1,000 bad drawings in your system. So before you decided that you couldn't draw stick people, how many stick people did you actually try to draw? Just think about that and remember that the more you draw, the better you get. And thank you for spending time with me today and looking at my art. It means a lot to me. And if you want to like, subscribe, leave comments, feel free to do all of that. It will make my cute little ego happy. And I'll see you on the flip side.